The last refuge of a troll to this channel who was confronted with thousands of examples of black violence, black on white crime, black mob violence, is to say white people do it too. That's what Jesse Waters from Fox News found out when he went to Princeton University and he asked all the kids what if they were offended by certain phrases, including the phrase black crime.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
So we hear that a lot. And I think about that whenever I look at my email box and I notice my box is getting clogged up with lots and lots of examples of black mob violence, black on white crime, black on white murder, as it was today. Why don't we take a look at just a couple and really ask the question, do white people do it too?
This subway map is what police say the Israeli tourist was looking at when he dozed off on this bench on the 6th train platform at Bleecker Street overnight. Investigators say the man, dressed in traditional Hasidic clothing, had been traveling from Brooklyn to meet friends in the Diamond District when he got lost. At some point just before 3:30 a.m., police say a man came up to him, slashed his neck, his arm, and his hands several times before running away with the victim's cash.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
As smash and grabs go, it's 30 seconds of brute force. It starts with a rock through the front glass door of Z Pizza on Tasman Avenue in Sunnyvale. And then watch as the thief plows through the shattered glass with his head.
He used his head actually, so it's terrible. It's terrible.
Jumping the counter wasn't so easy. He struggles because his shorts have slipped down to his knees. This moment might prove to be helpful to police since he touches the monitor with his bare hands. However, he tries to wipe away the fingerprints.
Looks like he knows what he is doing, so he has already some experience with this one.
They somehow know exactly where the safe was and head straight for it. Our main crook carries out that heavy safe by himself, which had about $300. From the moment they stormed in to the exit was 28 seconds.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Surveillance cameras inside the store caught the trio in the act. Here you can see the guy using bolt cutters on the game machines to steal what's inside. Then check it out, this guy wearing a red hoodie taking a sledgehammer to the counter. Then later, his friend comes to help him with the bolt cutters and literally climbs over the counter. We're told they stole cigarettes and also took cash from the store's ATM. Although no one was in the store at the time, the owner was still able to see everything as it was happening.
The owner of the store was at home when the alarm went off. He was able to access the cameras via the internet, saw 3 males inside the store.
2 of the 3 guys were caught. Police caught one guy running out of the store and another guy hiding behind a house with help from their canine, helicopter, and someone calling 911.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
If there's any place we should be able to catch white people committing copious amounts of crime, it's a bowling alley. But here's what a lot of people don't know. So when the sun goes down, lots of bowling alleys turn from centers of white privilege, white culture, white people doing all sorts of bad things that white people do. They turn into hip-hop clubs for black people, like this episode.
White people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Bobby Joe Edwards tells me Beth Ann, her 4 children, and her boyfriend Michael had lived in the 2nd floor apartment of 20 Garden Street for some 6 months. And in that time, they became good friends. She says she never knew of any trouble between the couple, and she tells me Logan was 4 months pregnant with his child.
I ran up the stairs. The kids were in the house. They said, "Mommy's in here, Mommy's in here." I went in and seen my friend laying on the floor covered in blood.
So when the ambulance took their mother to the hospital, Edwards took the kids.
I just kept reassuring them that, Mommy was in the hands of the doctor and they were going to do everything they could to make her better.
She tells me the kids were with her for about 15 hours before Child Protective Services picked them up. But Edwards tells me after she learned her friend passed away, she's going to fight for custody of the kids she's grown to love as her own.
A couple weeks prior to this incident happened, She did come to me and ask me if anything ever happened, if I would take her children. I asked myself, was that her way of saying she knew something was going to happen?
Meanwhile, their mother's boyfriend, 39-year-old Michael Norwood, faced a judge this morning. She ordered that he stay away from the children. He pled not guilty to second-degree murder, assault in the first, and endangering the welfare of a child.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Here's a story out of Buffalo about a teenager driving a golf cart when he pulls a loaded gun on a cop in Buffalo. Turns out he had been on kind of a crime spree. Now I have a confession to make. I think we must have been about 12 or 13 when Tommy Dowling and I climbed the fence at a golf course and drove some golf carts around the golf course. Yeah, we got caught. No, we didn't pull a gun on anybody. At least in this case, in Buffalo, that just happened. That appears to be a black thing.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
This probably doesn't count because it's in Detroit, but a bunch of black people beat up a little old lady over 50 years old waiting for a bus to go to work, 3:30 in the morning. A white guy is there. First he takes off to get some help, then he comes back and saves the day.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
That's right, Reggie. Just about 30 minutes ago, the jury found Mr. Williams guilty of first-degree murder, attempted robbery with a weapon, and attempted murder of Mr. Ryan McCall's friend who was walking with him that night over at the University of Tampa. It took the jury about 3 hours to come to that verdict. Williams now convicted in that August 2009 murder of Ryan McCall, a 21-year-old promising track star and a student at the University of Tampa, walking home after a night of partying with a friend near the UT campus.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Jim, a group of teenagers beat up a man who was just trying to go to work. Why? Wolf pack violence. It happened right in the middle of the morning rush hour. This security video shows a group of teens attacking a man at the Gallery Place metro station. Police say they beat him, kicked him, and then those teenagers ran back on the train to make their getaway.
If you read the headline, it says 6 people were arrested for this black mob violence a few months ago. Then if you listen to one of the witnesses, she said, well, I think there were 10 people there. I want you to go look at the video itself, the one we just saw. Heck, I'll play it again right now. Look how many people there are. There aren't 6. There aren't 10. There are dozens. They all went to the same school, Woodrow Wilson. Though apparently that didn't mean anything, because the reason I'm putting that story from a few months ago in this reel today is because prosecutors in Washington, D.C. said they don't have enough evidence to charge anybody with any crimes in connection with that violence.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Well, Frank, he is determined to stay open. In fact, he is here right now, his store open. And this is despite the fact that he says he has been robbed here at Sullivan's Market 3 times now. And in this latest incident, it was a nearby resident who played a very important role. That man happened to walk by this store last night as those suspects walked in.
Imagine 2 guns in my face.
And that was the moment that Charlie Montasser thought his life was ending. He feared he would never see his wife and family again.
You want the money? I give you the money. I opened the drawer, cleaned the cash register, I even raised the drawer up. I say, see, nothing.
Charlie did not want his face shown, but he tells me that as he and his clerk were held at gunpoint here at Sullivan's Market, he told the masked men this.
I work here from 9 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night to raise my kids. How you feel if somebody did this to your family, to your mom, to your dad?
And little did Charlie know what was going on outside of the store.
They had the guns and it freaked me out, so I just like wave down the cop.
Leon Palmer was walking by at the same time the men were walking in here. He ran to a patrol car near the store.
That's when it all happened.
Police surrounded the outside and the suspects noticed, running to the back. That's when Charlie and his clerk turned the tables on the men, holding them at gunpoint.
And they was, oh, let us go, we never come back again. I say, the police already here.
With the suspects on the ground here in the back, Charlie and his clerk grabbed their guns and ordered them to crawl out of this back door, one by one, to police.
Thank God nobody got hurt, me or them.
All of this happening a week after Charlie's son was held at gunpoint here in this East Side store where he works. Like his dad, his son grabbed that handgun from one of the suspects.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
How many stories on this video channel and in my book, Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, have we done on black mob violence at roller rinks? Dozens. I remember one from Baltimore where this was a regular event for years. There was violence, black violence in the skating rink, out of the skating rink, so much so that businesses for blocks around regularly closed their doors on a Friday and Saturday night because of this mob from the bowling alley. Cops were called every weekend. People in traffic were getting their windows busted. The whole thing. Anyway, here's one more from York, Pennsylvania. Just a little town in the middle of nowhere. I've been there many times. My uncle used to be the pastor of a church in York, where my aunt was the principal of the school. This didn't happen when they were there. So, because you see a lot of black violence in York now, including the stuff we see at this roller rink. Lots of black people go to hip-hop night. When they get out, they create violence in the rink. When they outside of the rink, they create violence. They destroy property. They attack the neighbors. Everybody's upset. And everybody promises to do something again.
All right, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well. A lot of white people commit crime as well.
Look, this is just one day. A couple hours worth of stuff. This doesn't even count all the other stuff I've been posting on this channel for the last couple days, and I already have posted for the next couple days. All the stuff I put on my Facebook channel, on my Twitter page. And every single molecule of every second of every one of these stories is nothing but a challenge. If white people do it too, show me. Show us. By the way, we don't say that white people are perfect. But what we're saying is that this black criminality, black on white crime, black mob violence is wildly out of proportion. So if you get one, please try to make it something more current than 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Because until then, I'm just going to keep telling people that come to this channel, don't make the black kids angry.